everyone. We are the Group 2 and we are going to discuss the clothings and styles. My name is Edges Marian C. Donke and I am going to represent our group and I will be your reporter for today. The first thing that we are going to discuss is the theory of hierarchy of human needs. This theory is presented in 1943 by Abraham Maslow. It is called a theory of human motivation, or also known as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This theory explains the different factors behind human motivation and the hierarchical interrelationship among these factors. First is the physiological needs, next, safety needs, next, social needs, next, self-esteem, and lastly, self-actualization. And now let me ask you, why does clothing meet all the 5 basic needs? It's because clothing has unique functions that respond to each of the indicated needs, meaning to say that in every level that Maslow presented, clothing is needed. And now let me discuss to you the 5 levels of human needs. First is the physiological needs. The first of the id-driven lower needs on Maslow's hierarchy are physiological needs. These are the basic human survival needs. So this includes the food, the water, sufficient rest, clothing, shelter, overall health, and reproduction. If you will have a sufficient rest, it will prevent you from getting sick. It allows you to have a healthier body weight, lowers the risk for serious health problems such as diabetes and heart diseases, and it can reduce the stress and it can improve your mood. Of course, we need food and water. We have to take note that we need to eat nutritious foods to keep us going, growing, and glowing. We also need to drink 8 glasses of water a day to keep us hydrated. So here we are now in clothing. So clothing is also included in physiological needs because this is a very general basic needs that we need in order to survive. It covers our body and protect it from extreme weather conditions. Is the shelter. So the shelter is a basic human needs and it is very crucial for survival. Shelter provides privacy, security, personal safety, protection from the weather, and protection from other diseases. Lastly is the reproduction. Reproduction is very essential for the continuation of the human species. Humans reproduce sexually by the uniting of the female and male sex cells. And now, let us move on to the safety needs. Like what I've said earlier, clothing is very essential for protection because it protects you from extreme weather. We have to keep in mind that hazard is everywhere, especially when we are working. That is why we have to choose wisely for the safety clothing and equipments. We have to take note that there is a proper clothing in every certain job that we do. So why is safety clothing important in the workplace? Of course, safety clothing is very important in the workplace as it protects users against any health and safety risk at work. It lessens the likelihood of injury, illness, legal issues, and ensures a safe, happy working environment for all. The following are the common PPE safety gears. It includes safety boots, safety glasses, helmets, specialized work clothes, and many more that depends on the type of work that you have and your company engages. Another example of clothing is the COVID PPE suit. Most of the doctors and nurses in the hospitals are wearing this suit to protect them from getting COVID-19. Let us move forward to the social need. So what is social needs? Social needs refer to the need to have relationship with other people once the physiological and safety needs has been fulfilled. So according to Maslow, he is considering that the social stage is very important part of psychological development because our relationship with other people can help reduce emotional concerns such as depression and anxiety. Social needs are very important basic human needs. Why? Because if these needs are not satisfied, it can also lead to mental and physical health problems. For example, in adults, they have to satisfy their social needs to sustain their well-being and the quality of their life. And for the younger people, they often use the social technologies such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter to satisfy their social needs. Here are the examples of the social needs. The need for belongingness, need for love, affection, intimacy, family, friends, relationships, and etc. Social needs are regarded as meaningful and interpersonal relationships. And now let me ask you why social needs are important. Human beings have social needs that are just as important as our biological need for food. There is a saying that no man is an island, meaning to say that nobody can live alone. Many people decide to take their lives because they don't get enough attention from their loved ones. That is why we really need to talk to someone. So what happens when our social needs are unmet? When social needs are unmet, our sense of personal significance is threatened. We compensate through fight or flight responses in an attempt to restore or escape our lost sense of significance. To say that if this need is unmet, it can lead to altercations or it can cause fight responses that enables you to manipulate others, fight others, and many more. For example, if a child didn't get enough love, care, and attention from their parents, some of them rebels. Some of them became drug addicts, prostitutes, and many more. That is why social need is very important. And now let us proceed to the esteem needs. Esteem needs is our desire for social acceptance regarding our status. It is accepting ourselves, having confidence, self-belief, respect of our differences, clothing and styles, actions, and rank in the society. According to Jennifer Gottman, in fact, it's estimated that roughly 85% of people worldwide, adults and adolescents, have low self-esteem, and high self-esteem is too low. Esteem needs is classified into two categories. First is the self-esteem in terms of dignity and achievement. Second is the desire of respect in terms of prestige and status. It is normal as a human being that we protect our dignity and we have achievement or goals because being a professional is one of the advantages in the society because people will respect you if you are a professional. Another thing is the clothing and styles. It is our way to garner respect and appreciation from other people. So many people will respect you if you look decent. The picture shows the different professions. So as we can see, there is a chef, a teacher, a pilot, a policeman, a doctor, an engineer, and many more. Next is the desire of respect in terms of prestige and status. Since social status is affected by many factors, sometimes People will just respect you just because you have a good quality of life. You have a good occupation, or you are a professional. You belong in a royal family. You have a good appearance, or you are rich. And sometimes they respect you because you are a good person and you have a good heart. Let us all remember that clothes can become a consumption that confers respect and status to the wearer. Your value is equivalent to what you are wearing. You are what you wear. Now let us proceed to the self-actualization needs. Self-actualization is focused on realizing their potential and therefore comes up with a system to spend less time worrying about fashion. Many productive people wear the same set of clothing every day in order to be more productive. This is a requirement in seeking personal growth and self-fulfillment. Self-actualization need exists because of acceptance and realism, where an individual accepts what and who she is. Self-actualization is very important. Why? Because after achieving everything in life, after raving success by the world standards, you have to accept who you really are. Self-actualization needs focuses on the morality, creativity, problem-solving, and the desire of one wants to achieve. And now, let us move on to the different types of fashion style. First is the bohemian. I know that you are very familiar with this one because this type of style is very natural, as it is neutral, having an earthy color schemes and flowy clothing that is made from natural fabrics such as cottons, denim, hemp, silk. Next is the preppy clothes. This style is popularized by prep school students. I know that you're very familiar with this one also because this style is still used today. It includes polos, layered under cable knit sweaters, khakis, structured blazers, feminine blouses, bright colored pants, and A-line skirt. Of course, we should not forget that accessories is very important. Next is artsy. This style is perfect for someone who loves to experiment various clothing styles. People who wears artistic styles are often seek out bold and colorful pieces. Lastly, wearers are free to express themselves and be as experimental as they want. Next is the grunge. Clothing will appeal to those with a more edgy personality. Consider stocking your closet with tattered, worn-looking apparel in a baggy fit if you're going for the grunge vibe. It's better if it's a shambles, leather jackets, beanies, flannel shirts, ripped denim, combat boots, and many more. Next is the punk. Punk is similar to grunge. By adhering to the punk aesthetic, you may let your rebellious nature shine through in your style. Punk attire appeals to both rebels and rule breakers. Punk clothes is normally gloomy and black, even if your hair is vibrant and colorful. Fishnet stocking, leather jackets, studded vests, and skater skirts are also included in punks. And now is the vintage. Of course, many people love vintage. This style is still practiced today. Vintage fashion refers to a clothing that was made in another period, particularly that did date back at least 20 years from today. But in the 20th century, the word vintage means being of an earlier time. A vintage clothing is an article of used clothing that is highly valued today because of its uniqueness, style, and timeliness. So here are the examples of vintage fashion. And now let us proceed to the trendy clothing styles. These are very simple and highly relevant in our generation today. It pertains to something that is fashionable up to this day. It is accordance with the latest trend, fashion, or hype. So these are the examples of trendy fashion clothing. For example, I know you're very familiar with the Shane clothing styles. Next is the feminine style. Feminine style is characterized by pastel colors, lace, flounces, bows, and florals. Those who enjoy dressing up and wearing lots of dresses and skirts will greatly enjoy trying out feminine style. A-line dresses or cinched waistcoats are ideal for those looking for more feminine look. And now is for the tomboy style. It is very opposite to the feminine style of dress. The tomboy style avoids overly girly pieces in favor of a more masculine or gender-neutral wardrobe. Clothing items that are commonly worn include loose-fitting trousers and jeans, oversized blazers, collared shirts, suits, baggy shirts, and slouchy cardigans. Let us proceed to the girl next door sporty attire. The girl next door attire isn't just a classic movies trope. It has become a fashion style of all on its own. The typical girl next door is pretty low maintenance, so you don't have to go shopping and buy the whole wardrobe. It is simple but sophisticated. It is comfortable. It is modern but not high fashion. What is a girl next door attire? A girl next door attire is a term used to describe a female archetype and fashion aesthetic that can range in terms of personal definition. It appeals to be traditional, that shows purity, simplicity, charm, and natural beauty of a person. It is sweet, simple, and comfortable for the person to wear. And now for the sporty attire. Of course, you have to wear a particular attire when you are doing sports. When you go to the gym, or you go dancing or play volleyball, you need to wear a certain attire that is comfortable enough for the things that you are going to do. So how to dress sporty? Of course, we need to select a clothing that is relaxed or comfortable. Especially to the athletes, they need to move around comfortably in their clothes. So for girls, in order to get a sporty look, you can wear jerseys, t-shirts, crew necks, leggings, and athletic shorts. Go for a neutral makeup look, throw your hair up in a ponytail, and you'll be ready for the game. On the other hand, the boys can also wear joggers and sweatpants. So that's it, guys. I hope you learned something in our report. Thank you!